Now, it doesn't matter how classy or qualified she is. The Democrats are polishing their brass knuckles, and some Democrats are already making fools of themselves, like, Vietnam War hero Senator Richard Blumenthal.
What are the Republicans doing that is illegal or illegitimate? Because the Constitution says the president has to nominate Supreme Court justices, the Senate has to advise and consent and confirm. So what is illegal about what the president and the Republicans are doing? You say it's illegitimate.
It is illegitimate. It's illegitimate.
Where does it say, Senator, where does it say that's illegitimate in the U.S. Constitution or in the law? Where does it say that what they're doing, the Republicans, is illegal?
Illegal, it may be not under the Constitution, under the norms and traditions and unwritten rules of the Senate. It is illegitimate.
But you agree that there's nothing illegal or totally illegitimate as to what they're doing.
It may not violate the letter of the Constitution.
That was so hard to watch. What's really sad there is that Blitzer had to inform Blumenthal as to what is and is not in the Constitution. And just a note, outside of being a Vietnam War hero, Blumenthal was the Attorney General for the state of Connecticut, meaning he's a lawyer. Now, look, Democrats can use Merrick Garland as a battle cry all they want. They can jump up and down, throw themselves on the floor, start screaming about how Mitch McConnell refused to consider Obama's final nominee. They can shake their fists and call Republicans hypocrites. You said no nominations during an election year. I'd like to think of it as payback for all the low, down, dirty, rotten tricks the Democrats have played over the years. Go look up Judges Miguel Estrada, Janice Rogers Brown, and Priscilla Owens for starters. And to the Democrats, I say this: I won't like it, but the next time you control the Senate when there's an election and there's a vacancy and you also control the White House, you can play that game too. Happy? All right, so what to expect? Headline Politico: Senate Dems ready tactics to muck up Supreme Court confirmation. Quote, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer has his caucus on board with an effort to disrupt and obstruct Senate Republicans using a wide range of procedural tools to try to make it difficult for the Senate Majority Leader. Interviews with more than a dozen Democratic senators revealed broad support for disrupting the Supreme Court confirmation process, even if the strategy yields some collateral damage. Yet Democrats facing tough re-elections and those who typically spurn delay tactics overwhelmingly support the hardball campaign, potentially putting them at increased risk of losing their seats. Well, some Democrats have already said they won't even meet with Barrett. That's fine. Republicans refuse to meet with Garland. But here's the kick to the face. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Republicans can confirm Barrett without a single Democrat vote. They don't even need to hold hearings. I mean, they should, but they don't have to. See, all they need is 51 votes, and she's in. Now, maybe you forgot, but it was the Democrats that got rid of the supermajority rule back in 2013.
The change we propose today would ensure executive and judicial nominations an up or down vote on confirmation. Yes, no. The rule change will make cloture for all nominations other than the Supreme Court a majority threshold vote. Yes or no?
Too bad. Mitch McConnell warned Reid in that very moment.
The majority leader promised, he promised, over and over again, that he wouldn't break the rules of the Senate in order to change them. If you want to play games, set yet another precedent that you'll no doubt come to regret. Say to my friends on the other side of the aisle, you'll regret this, and you may regret it a lot sooner than you think.
I'm not the biggest fan of McConnell, but the pain. Oh, the pain. There are two distinct legal theories in applying the Constitution. reading it as it's written, and, well, wrong. Judge Barrett developed her judicial philosophy clerking for the late Antonin Scalia, and Scalia was an originalist. In other words, the Constitution was to be applied as written, not this nouveau trendy belief that the Constitution is living and breathing that Ginsburg held. The only way the Constitution is living and breathing is through the amendment process, not unelected people replacing the wisdom of the founders with their own. See, words have meaning. If they don't, we don't know where we stand as a people in relation to the rule of law. The word interpret does not appear in Article 3 of the Constitution that sets up the judicial branch. Now, I got to give you a little warning here. I don't know what kind of Justice Barrett will make. Republican nominees have a funny way of letting us down. Think John Roberts. But all signs so far point to Barrett being the un-Ginsburg. So here's the argument. Democrats couldn't care less about promoting women to positions of power. They want leftist women in power. The left loves to throw the Catholic faith in our faces when they're talking about welfare and open borders. But when talking about abortion or same-sex marriage, people like Amy Coney Barrett are just Bible-thumping whack jobs. And for that, talking about faith, I cannot promise you she'll be a down-the-line conservative. But with little or no weapons left to parry Republicans, the Democrats' nightmare has come true. The left has one mission now, and that is to protect Roe v. Wade, which has turned late-term abortion on demand into a thing. The Democrats will tell you that the Constitution is living and breathing, but any law or court case they support is ironclad. Every one of their big government overreaches are set in stone. Brett Kavanaugh proved the Democrats have no line to draw when they try to take down anyone. That's regardless of race or gender. If they don't kowtow to the left's demands, they're going down. And no, fighting for late-term abortion on demand does not make you a feminist by default. You know, about half the women in this country don't support it, so stop trying to make that the feminist cause. The truth is, Trump could nominate a disabled, black, Hispanic, bisexual, pangender, transgender woman in a wheelchair, but who happens to interpret the Constitution conservatively, and that wouldn't be enough. Nothing will ever satisfy the left. And as for the Democrats' howls of no fair, well, too bad. Comes around, goes around. After all these years and all your dirty tricks, you are getting a taste of your own Obamacare-style medicine. No matter what, there will be some form of a hearing. And if Democrats show, they'll demand to know how Barrett will rule. And all she has to do is invoke the notorious RBG.
You are well aware that I come to this proceeding to be judged as a judge, not as an advocate. Because I am and hope to continue to be a judge, it would be wrong for me to say or to preview in this legislative chamber how I would cast my vote on questions the Supreme Court may be called upon to decide.